And now, it's Ultimate Combat Radio with your host, Mike Stidham, on 1280 and 97.5 The Zone. Presented by Aztec Highway.
Oh, wow. All right, well, welcome to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking a little mixed martial arts. It is Friday, the 23rd day of September, and joining me on the program this evening is our crack team of mixed martial arts professionals, the Kaiser. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
I'm spectacular, Mike.
And you look spectacular. We also have Sir Barton Burdett with us, our UFC fill-in aficionado. How are you doing, Bart?
Doing well, Mike. Thanks again for having me.
Now, Robertina and Joe are on assignment at UFC 135 in Denver. They're down at the weigh-ins right now. We'll be checking in with them in just a minute. In fact, they're going to discuss about some of the goings-on behind the scenes. I understand there are a couple of stories that have evolved from the weigh-ins. Of course, Jon Jones is fighting Rampage, and then also Matt Hughes and Josh Koscheck going to get it on. Should be a great night of fights tomorrow night, and Bob and Joe will be letting us know some of the behind-the-scenes in just a minute. Now, Brandon, you're also going to the UFC. You're heading there tomorrow?
Yes, I leave tomorrow morning to go watch the big fights, and I'm just going as a spectator this time. So.
You don't even like the UFC. You're going down anyway.
Well, I was just trying to impress my girlfriend.
Well, I expect to hear some great Kaiser stories next week about some of the goings-on in Denver. Now, promise me you'll do me a favor. Keep an eye on Bob and Joe. Try to keep them out of trouble.
That's a tall order, but I
They're
think they can do that.
All right. Well, this segment is brought to you by the Ultimate Combat Training Center and Mushin Self-Defense. And, of course, two great gyms, one up there in the North Salt Lake area. Brandon, Mushin Self-Defense, what's going on up there?
Oh, man, we're just having our classes there Monday through Thursday, and then Saturdays, getting guys ready for fights. You know, it's crazy how things just kind of ebb and flow in this Amen, MMA brother. Community. You know, one minute everyone's fighting, the next minute the fights are dying off, and, you know.
But right now, the buzz is up. What's going on up there, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I understand we have Robertina and Joe on the line, but before we get to them, also joining us in studio is the author of the Big City Weekly article. If you haven't seen it yet, it's got my pretty little mug on the front page of the City Weekly, and it was a story that wasn't exactly flattering, should we say. So we're going to talk to the author of that article and see where maybe all this is headed. Let's see, we got Robertina and Joe. You on the line right now?
I'm here, Mike. How you doing?
Big Joe, I understand there's some controversy going on down at the UFC, and you're on top of it. What's going on?
Oh, man, we just got done with the weigh-ins, watching everybody. First of all, there's going to be excitement tomorrow night. They had to break up like 4 or 5 of the fighters.
Really? Are the Diaz brothers involved somehow?
Diaz was one of them.
Oh, shocker, man.
So, yeah, they're you know, they get into each other's faces. They're bumping, headbutting each other, so it's going to be exciting.
Oh, Lord. Good stuff.
One thing I want to talk about is they had Rashad Evans do a Q&A before the weigh-ins. Had a bunch of fans can do some questions, and they were asking him about this whole this controversy about the Spygate or whatever they're calling it, the spy being in Rampage's camp.
Now let's back up a minute here. You're talking about Spygate. There's been some allegations that one of Rampage's underlings was spying on, or is it the other way around?
It was one of Rampage's partners or the guy at the gym was spying for Jon Jones, is what Rampage said.
Okay, so Rampage made the allegation that Jon Jones was having somebody spy on his camp.
Yes.
What did he intend to garner from doing that?
I don't know, and that's what we're waiting to see if anything came out of it. I don't understand, unless you're getting into their spy plan or, you know, whatever, their deep thought into that. I don't think it really matters if somebody watches you train. So I don't know why. I read online somewhere that Jon Jones said, look, man, I've watched his last 12 fights, and he hasn't done anything different in any of those. So why would I want to send some spy in to see what he's doing now? Exactly, and that's what we're trying to get to. But I guess Rashad told everybody that they found out who the spy was, and it was an executive from one of Rampage's sponsors. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I guess it was one of the executives that was friends with Jon Jones's manager, and that's what was going on. That's who was spying, and I don't really get what he benefits from it. But
now we have confirmed that there was spying involved. Then is what you're telling me.
There was spying involved, and they asked Rashad if he thinks that, you know, he trained with him at Greg Jackson's camp. If he thinks that Jon Jones was involved with it personally, and he doesn't think so. He just thinks that the manager was trying to get some insight on what Rampage was doing.
Okay.
Which, again, I don't see how it benefits him at all.
All right, controversy averted there. Anything else going on down there? Any big stories?
Just the fighters, they're pumped up. Just everybody's going at each other. One thing Rampage did say to Jon Jones after he weighed in is that he's going to end the hype. That's what he wants to do. He wants to end the hype of Jon Jones because he hasn't fought anybody that he thinks other than Shogun, he doesn't think he's fought anybody, and Rampage has fought everybody. That's what he wants to do. He wants to end the hype.
Well, now I did read something again about $1 million fight camp Rampage was claiming to have. Did you hear anything about that?
We didn't get to that because they went to a press conference, and we're going to talk to him about that tomorrow night after the fights. We're going to get some one-on-one time, hopefully, with him, and I'm going to ask him about it and see what he has to say.
Now, Rampage was claiming that between his sponsors and his camp, that they've spent $1 million in preparation for this fight. So that he says, look, getting that championship belt back is more important to me than anything. And he even admits, he says, look, when I'm not motivated, I'm unmotivated. I'm a guy that really needs to be motivated, and I didn't appreciate the belt as much as I should have when I had it. I had unified the light heavyweight Pride and UFC belt, and I just didn't appreciate it the way I did. So we went out and we just said, look, we're going to put everything we've got. We're going all in for this training camp, and $1 million is pretty much all in.
Yeah, and his coach even said that he has 2 belts from UFC. I guess when you win a belt, you get to retire it, you get to keep that belt, and then he has his Pride belt above his mantle, and he has just enough space for one more belt above the fireplace. And that's what he says, that he's just motivated, and that's what he's going after. He wants it back.
Well, good stuff, Joe. Well, stay on top of things, and I understand you guys got a chance to visit with Skyscrape a little bit from Tapout.
We did. We were walking down the street, and Robertina noticed him and went up and got a little interview from him. And
you know why she noticed him? Because she's way up there where he is. I never would have noticed the guy. I just saw some dude's knees.
Hey, I'm going to pass it off to Robertina. Let you tell you what she got from him, all right?
Okay, let's hear from Robertina. Hey, Bobs.
Hello.
How are you, kid?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Tell me how Skyscrape's breath smelt.
Can I just tell you that he is taller than me, and I thought I was tall.
Really? Well, that's why they call him Skyscrape.
Well, because he skyscrapes over everybody around.
Hey, by the way, have you guys had a chance to see the movie The Warrior? It's the Tapout was very much involved in the production. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
No, we haven't yet.
It is awesome. It is really, really good. It's really well done. In fact, I was listening to another radio station today, a very conservative talk radio show, and they said, we're not really into that whole MMA scene, but the show is really, really well made, and it's really good. And Nick Nolte, he's a good actor, and he got me a little misty, a little teary-eyed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. And so, if you see the Tapout guys again, I understand they're not doing very well at the box office. I think it's only brought in like $10 million, which isn't a lot of money considering how much they spent making it. But tell them how much I appreciated the show, man. It was awesome.
I will, definitely. I haven't even seen it yet, but I'll have to go check it out.
After the UFC. UFC is probably a little bit big. Maybe tomorrow during the day you can go see it and then go watch the UFC.
Maybe, during our downtime, absolutely.
All right, well, Bobs, thank you guys so much for going down there and keeping us appraised of what's going on. And hopefully there are going to be some great stories that you bring back with you next week.
That's our plan. We'll do it.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much. Man, Bob, I miss her in studio. I miss her.
Man.
I miss her long fingers pointing at me.
I'm excited
Telling
now.
me it's time. You're talking too long.
I felt their excitement just being there at the event, and it's got me even more excited to get down there.
They're pretty buzzed about it. All right, this week's poll question. We'd love to have you call in or text in. And the poll question is, what are your thoughts on the City Weekly article? If you haven't had a chance to read it, get online and read it, or go grab yourself a copy of City Weekly and read the City Weekly article. It's the cover page. So, Brandon, how would they go about calling or contacting us if they do want to comment on it?
Well, I know that they can do something that starts with 4, 5, or 6, 7, 0, and that is all I remember.
1280, buddy.
1280. Well,
so if you're in the Utah County area, it's 470-1280. If you're in the Salt Lake County area, 570-1280, and then Weber and Davis County is
670.
1280. Sorry to steal your thunder, man. I thought you were ready for that one. Okay, and then if they want to text in, how would they go ahead and text a comment to us?
I do not know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Text the word zone to, what is it,
53318.
That's what I was about to say. 53318. All right, good stuff. We're going to be talking to the author of that article in just a minute, so stick around. We got more Ultimate Combat Radio when we come back.